Glenda, our coverage continues with 7 Action News reporter Jennifer Ann Wilson here to show you what school districts are now doing with these new guidelines.
It's been a chaotic year, a chaotic day, and surprisingly, superintendents feel the CDC is making a good choice. Meanwhile, I spoke with a student who will no longer be attending school at school. She'll be at home.
If I'm honest, I started crying. I finally got to see my friends. I finally got to just meet new people.
After 2 months of in-person learning, Waterford High School students are back to virtual.
We lasted longer than I thought.
As the case numbers rise, the number of students required to quarantine has risen too.
Everyone who sits in the seats around them, front, back, side to side, for every kid in every class.
Sometimes I've seen it where it might be 10 or 12. In another case, it might be as high as 30 or 40.
Waterford superintendent says it's because of the large number of quarantines that led to the decision to hold classes online only. Today, the state announced thousands of new COVID-19 cases. Meanwhile, this week, the district in Waterford has noticed dozens of new cases. At the same time, the CDC announced today the requirement for desks to be 6 feet apart has been reduced to just 3 feet apart.
They weren't following that anyways.
It turns out a number of school districts haven't been doing that.
Our goal has been 3 feet plus where we possibly can do that. That's why we invested in partition.
There's plastic dividers in every single desk.
At Waterford schools, they don't allow students to use lockers in order to reduce contact points. They each carry backpacks with everything they need.
Walking through the tight aisles with a big backpack, move too wrong, and I have a divider fall in every one of my classes.
And several superintendents say they don't believe the distance is impacting case numbers. They say it'll impact quarantines more than it'll impact classroom setup.
If we had evidence that the quarantine students were also getting sick, I would feel differently about what I'm about to say.
And that's why in Lance Cruz, the superintendent says he's supportive of the 3-foot rule.
I think the 3 feet standard will be much more easily met by schools, and we will not have to have as many kids at home.
And that sounds good to Liliana, but with spring break just 1 week away, she's worried cases will continue to rise.
We're all hopeful, but we are also doubtful.
Also today, big changes when it comes to high school sports and testing. We'll be talking more about that coming up at 6 o'clock. In Waterford, I'm Jennifer Ann Wilson, 7 Action News.